G'day guys. So it's wiring day on the Supra. I've gone over the other loom, so that the actual 1G loom has been mapped out, so to speak. And I'm working my way, going to work my way over the factory loom. It's a little bit of a process that I've done so many times now. I can't quite do it with my eyes closed, but damn close. So at some point I'll probably do a set of wiring instructions for a VVT-i. As far as a video goes, I do sell wiring instructions for them already, with a few tips and tricks. Now, with the VVT-i 1uz, and this is for the 20 series and the later 171 crowns. So I've got a couple of crown ones to do as well. A lot of people who wire these don't realise that when you disconnect or remove the factory transmission, that the VVT-i stops working. So the factory transmission, as some of the inputs from the factory transmission are criteria for switching the VVT-i on. Without that factory trans, it's a non-VVT-i. The ignition timing is a little bit retarded, and the cam timing is fully retarded all times. So top end, it's similar, but you do lack a little bit, and bottom end you really do lack quite considerably. So I've got a little box that I fit up, wire up to them, and that overcomes this. So there's a little tech tip for you. I don't say it on in every video, but if you actually watch all my videos, you'll get a lot of tech tips. So the goal with the Supra is pretty simple. The plan, make a wiring loom that plugs into the Supra, but a bit more detailed. First go over this loom and check it's in good order, which is actually looking really good. This one is a fantastic looking loom. The injector plugs aren't broken, which is really strange. The variable cam timing plugs aren't broken, which is really strange. Water temp sensor plug, that's fine. Airflow meter plug, it's not broken, it's not there. But they also need to be extended about that far because of where I mounted the airflow meter. So that's been cut off, but I can sort that. And I've got plugs for them. I've got a brand new plug, fortunately. At least I hope I do. I will add a water temp sensor because this is a Celsius loom, so they don't run a water temp sensor for the gauge on the dash. And I'll put 2 extra wires over by this airflow meter for the variable power steering. So that's that side done when I get to it. So that's the plan for that side. Out the back, transmission loom's coming out. And I will run 4 wires, or I'll recycle 4 wires at the back for there's 3 going to the electronic speedo and for the reverse. So an earth, signal for the speedo, a power, and did I say reverse? An earth, reverse, signal, and 12 volts to both the reverse and the speedo. And there's already a place in this loom I'll use the reverse power feed, which is also the same one for the heater switch, which I've got to put in as well. So there's a heater switch coming out. Down the left hand side of the engine, the diagnostic box is coming out. I'm going to put a wire in for the oil pressure sensor, which is located down below that. Hydraulic fan will come out, and then I'm going to put a plug. It's going to run over the top of the tappet cover, and that's going to plug into the Supra. And there's going to be power feed for coils and injectors, the main power feed for the ECU plus B, which will also go for the airflow meter, and the main relay trigger. So pretty straightforward. Plug in. So another bit of a tip, if you don't want to pull all the conduit apart, one of the steel backs from a wiper blade works really good for pushing wires through. You take them to the end of it, and then just pop it through the loom nicely. Out it comes. Job done. We have new wires. So blue one is for the water temp. And these two are for the variable power steering. I reckon that's going to be plenty long enough. So there's one side of the loom finished. Extended the airflow meter wires, but I haven't terminated them yet. I'll do that once it's sitting on the engine, so I get them the right length. Extra wire popped in for the power steer, and then I've taped it up in a cloth tape, so it looks pretty good. This earth is done. So next I'll be taking out the trans loom. That's fairly straightforward. I'll do a little bit of recycling on that one as well, but that's nice and easy. As most of the transmission plug, this one, most of the transmission wires are in this transmission plug. The easiest way for me to remove it is going to be just to simply pop this pin out, that one out, because that one needs to stay. Put that one over there, we don't want to lose that. And then pull all the others out. And then when I put my little box in to give it more power, to return that power from moving the transmission, I'll crimp new wires because I've got the terminals to do this one, to do these ones. So that makes it so much easier to do. And I may even put this one on its, then put a plug on that one. So my unit plugs into this plug quite easily with the power and the earth wire going in. And it'll kind of make it quite a simple way. It's kind of what I'm envisaging. Once you've got the wires popped, just identify them, pull them out. Right, got all those ones. Then there's some over in this plug. I probably should pick up my diagrams and just double check, but I'm not going to. We're going to guess. It's going to be these ones along here. Top row, this one. The other wire that this transmission loom has is an earth, but there's also an earth in here for the oxygen sensor. So we're not going to cut that one out. So this one's transmission. So there you have the transmission loom out. With one wire cut. Easy. Sometimes I recycle wires through the loom, but in this case I'm not going to do that for that trans loom. And don't lose that plug. Right, next what I'm going to do is pull a diagnostic plug out and go through this side and run my extra wires that are going to come across the tappet cover out in this department. When I'm doing these sort of looms, there's always something interesting that comes along. This one's had a repair. There was a bit of a repair on, or a bit of extra tape around the temp sensor wire, which is over here. So there was a little bit of tape, because just where it had a bit of a rub. If I come up to this injector, number three injector, and there's a joiner in there. So someone's done something funny. So I'm going to clip that out and repair that properly. We'll put a new pin into that injector plug. Might show you that while we're doing it. We just pop this little tab out here. Often got a little pair of long nose pliers that do this job perfectly, but if we're just gentle there, that little tab comes out. This is the better tool. There it is. And look at that. There's a big blob of solder in there. Oh, that's cool. And this is how you fix it. Come back here and you cut it off. And we'll put a new bit of wire on. Properly. So we have it. I've joined a nice wire in there. I put a nice crimp in there. I've actually double heat shrinked this one. Being that I am kind of fussy, I've actually found a second hand the same rubber for the back of it, and then it's a brand new terminal to go into this plug. Just looks neat and tidy if it's got all the right stuff back in it. And then we're going to go in like so. A bit of a bend on it. So the same kind of rubber on the back, same kind of rubber seal, and then we refit that little lock. Neat and tidy, and then we'll taper up. I've got a couple of changes happening in here. I'm just sort of sorting fan relays, having a bit of a plan. It's a little bit of fluid plan. I'm kind of making the shit up as I go along. So what I'm doing here is I'm whipping out the air conditioning relays. Sometimes I'd recycle, but I've kind of got it stuck in my head early on that I'll put a couple of relays for the fans in this fuse box. And there's these extra relays kind of hanging around here for the aircon, so I'm taking those out. That's your wiring for your aircon there, for your fan. That's spare. There guys, loom's actually looking pretty good on the Supra. So the main engine loom is now done. So we've got this one going down. I've put in one for the oil pressure. I've put in ones, I've got 4 wires there for power supplies that come from the fuse box under the bonnet. Got the airflow meter, I've got to find that plug, which will be one of my boxes of new plugs, fortunately. So I've got this many wires to deal with here. I've still got to disable the immobilizer on this ECU. So I've got to get that done, and then into those wires, and most of them will be thrown away. I'll probably use about, probably about 15 or 20 of those, so it's not so bad. Less than half anyway. Well, what you see on a lot of programs on TV, guys doing jobs or fixing up cars is, hey, it's all rosy and all happy. What they don't always show is lots of the late nights. So come past the car. Oh, I've attacked underneath the bonnet too. So the fuse box is hanging out at the moment. Making change just for the fan wiring actually. I've painted up the exhaust manifolds today. Got the exhaust gaskets there. Chuck some paint on the exhaust manifolds and the covers. Got the engine mounts to grind up, but it's starting to get dark. So I'll go for another couple of hours, I think. It's getting dark, at least it's not too cold at the moment. Oh, there's some extra wiring for the relays and shit that I took out from under the bonnet. Spare. And the gearbox is still in pieces. There's our gearbox. It's going to happen soon. Gearbox in bits. And there's some grinding to do on here. I've got to give this a bit of relief. Oh, and here. It's a brand new gearbox. And we pull it to bits and grind it up. So the next thing on this loom is to try and put some plugs on off this loom. Put it together. So I'm into it, keeping going, and we'll do an update in the morning, see how we're looking, see if I'm putting a motor in tomorrow. The goal is to get it running for the owner's birthday. I don't know if I'll get that sorted, but hey, if we don't give it a try, I'm never going to succeed. So setting a big goal, we're going to get a lot further than setting a small goal.